Hey everyone, we're gonna do a video that's a little bit different today. We're gonna do a book scavenger hunt and then I have to read the book that I find. I saw this idea on Erin Megan's booktube channel and I thought it looked so much fun. So I took some of her prompts and then made up some of my own. There's 10 prompts to help me find my book. So let's go ahead and see what I'm gonna be reading for you guys. So I'm gonna start with the book that I last read, which was oh, you probably can't see that. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. The first prompt says same color on the cover. So I need to find myself a pink book. I made it easy for myself by just using these two shelves. I'm going to see if I can do it with just those two shelves because my books are all over my house. So we'll see how that works out. So I immediately see this one. The spine's pink. The front's not really that pink. I mean, it's got some pink letters, but again, a little bit of pink. It's got some fire flames that are pink. Let's see if I can find something that's really pink. These two have some pink. Oh, I think I found a winner. Charlotte Says, that's super pink. So they both got a lot of pink. So I'm gonna go with that one. Okay, so Charlotte Says, the next prompt says the same number of pages. Sorry, I realize when I walk up close to the camera, you can't even see me. Anyways, maybe I'll stand back here so you can see me. Okay, let's see. This has 353. So let's see if I can find that. 353. Okay, so that one had 353 pages. I found one that has 351 pages, so I think that's as close as I'm going to get. So that's A History of Wild Places. So that's only 2 pages off, so I think that's pretty good. So the next prompt is the same number of chapters. So let's see how many chapters this has. I'm not going to count the epilogue because that doesn't really tell me. Oh no, this one doesn't have chapters. They just have names. I mean, it has chapters, but it doesn't tell me, like, this is chapter 30. I'd have to, like, go through and count them all. Dang. I'm wondering. Let me see. Okay, so this one has chapters, and this is 300 and this one's 345 pages. So that's only like, what, 7 pages off? So maybe I'll do this one instead of A History of Wild Places. Because it's close. It's not exact, but it's close. I'm confused because it says chapters. But then when I started getting to the end, it starts saying names again. Like Sarah and Patrick. Oh, here's some more chapters. Okay, I don't know why, but yeah, at the end it starts having like names instead of chapters. So I'm just going to go to the last chapter that there is, which is chapter 38. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, 38 chapters. Okay, so this one has 37 chapters. So it's not 38, but I think it's close enough. It's only one chapter difference, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it. And the next prompt says, find a cover with a similar image. So let's see. Okay. I'm going to go with Into the Sublime because they both have a person on the cover. One's facing away and one's facing forward, but they're also both walking into water and there's like ripples coming from the person. I don't know how well you can see that. So I would say that's pretty similar. Okay, so we're going to do Into the Sublime for our next one. And the next prompt is find a book that has a similar theme or subplot. So I actually have not read this one yet, so I don't really know what it's about. So I've never read that book and I just couldn't find anything that fits because I don't really know what it's about. So I decided I needed to have a book that I've actually read if I'm going to do that prompt. So I found this book that's 39 chapters. So we're just going to go back in time a little bit and do this one instead. So this is a ghost story. So that one should be easy to match, thank goodness. So let's see if I can find another ghost story, which I know I can because I love ghost stories. Okay, I'm gonna go with Anna Dressed in Blood. So they both have murderers, they both have ghosts, they're both YA, so I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so Anna Dressed in Blood is our next book. So then it says, written by an author with the same sex or race. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't actually tell me, but it looks like a white female. She's got darker hair, but I'm assuming she's Caucasian. Shouldn't be too difficult. Kate Alice Marshall, another white female. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with these fleeting shadows. Okay, the same amount of words in the title. So there's 3. Okay. Okay. So I found one that was pretty easy. Those We Drown. That's 3 words in the title. Okay, and then it says the same author name. Amy Goldsmith. So I need to find either another Amy or a Goldsmith. I don't think I'm going to find a Goldsmith. So let's see if I have an Amy. Actually, I just thought of an Amy. Haha! Amy McCaw, who wrote Mina and the Undead. Okay, so starts with the same letter. So on this one, I'm going to purposely find a book that I have not read yet because this is going to be the book that I'm going to vlog for you guys. This is the last prompt. So Mina and the Undead starts with an M. So let's see what books I have not read that starts with an M. Let's see. I'm not gonna count the because that's just kind of hard and a lot of books start with the. So we have Manning Tree Witches, which is a possibility. I'm just gonna keep looking and see what we have so I can have some options. We have Magic Lessons, but I don't know if this is the place I want to start this series. because it's kind of in the middle of things. I don't know. I think I'm gonna not do this one because I don't want to start in the middle of things. Put that back. There's a Mark of the Wicked. Let's see. There's the other Mina, which I haven't read yet, but I kind of want to save this for October because it's about like Halloween time, so I think I'm not gonna save that. There's A Multitude of Dreams, which is technically an A, I guess, but I'm just going by the big words. Let's see. Let's go over here. There's Mirror Girls. There's Mary Will I Die. There's Mr. Lullaby. There's Mind of Winter, but again, I think I would rather read this either in the winter time or around Christmas time because I think it takes place on Christmas Day. So again, I think I'm going to save this. And from those two shelves, that's pretty well it. So I've got these 6 books right here. So maybe I'll do the ones that actually start with M. Well, I guess pretty much all of them do, but 2. I think the ones that are piquing my interest the most at this point in time would honestly be A Multitude of Dreams and Mr. Lullaby. I think this one is like vampires, but it's also like medieval times. It has to do with the plague. And then Mr. Lullaby sounds more like a boy that hears voices in his head, and there's some kind of accident in an old train tunnel, and there's something like supernatural going on with that. So they both sound really good, honestly. I reread the synopsis just to remind myself what these books are even about, and I want to read both of them, but I just don't know if I have time this month to read both of them, or I would. Maybe because this one's technically A Multitude of Dreams, so it technically starts with an A, and this one actually starts with an M. Maybe I'll go with that. So I guess I'm gonna go with Mr. Lullaby. So I will come back when I have thoughts. Hello everyone, I'm here for my first check-in. I'm about 23 pages into Mr. Lullaby. And first, can I just say this cover is fantastic. This little boy wearing this little raincoat reminds me so much of Georgie from It, so that really made me excited to read it, even though I don't think it's going to be anything like it. But that's the vibes it gives me. So anyways, it looks like we're following 4 different POVs, starting out with Beth, and she's a deputy sheriff in this little railroad town. And she discovers that, well, not discovers, somebody comes into the police station and tells her that there's 2 dead bodies in front of this old abandoned railroad tunnel. And then we go to a different perspective named Gideon, and he has been in the army over in Iraq, and he just barely got back from the service. And Beth and the whole entire town want to throw him a surprise party. Well, when somebody's coming back from the army and they have PTSD, having a surprise party is probably not the best idea. And then we also have the perspective of a man named Doc. I don't know if that's his real name or a nickname. It sounds like a nickname. But, anyways, he's kind of become obsessed with this tunnel. So while everybody's at the surprise party, he's digging out bricks from this tunnel because I think they bricked it up at one time. And so he's been slowly like chipping away at it and getting rid of the bricks and opening up this tunnel again. And he keeps finding these interesting things like this weird leaf that's white with like red veins, or he finds seashells even though they're nowhere by the ocean, or he finds like a dead squirrel that doesn't look like a squirrel, or like a weird colored frog, or just strange things. And he keeps discovering these while he's uncovering this tunnel. So he opens up like a hole into it, and all of a sudden he hears footsteps and he hears a voice, and there's a little boy that comes running out, and he recognizes him, but he's like, that's impossible, it can't be him, that doesn't make any sense. And the little boy tells him to run. So then we go to yet another perspective, and this one's name is Theodore, and he's kind of a psychopath. He's a bit of a sadist. He likes to hurt people, and that's what makes him feel good, and that's what he likes to do. And so he had just murdered a janitor and took over his clothes and entered a hospital where he found a young lawyer who is comatose, and he's going to unalive her because apparently he found a seashell in his mom's underwear drawer, and there's a voice coming from it that tells him a name. He gives him a list of people that he wants him to kill, and they're all comatose, they're all brain dead or whatever, and he's supposed to go to all of these different places and unalive them. So, anyways, like I said, this is only in the first 20 pages, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything by saying that because we've hardly gotten into the book at all. But I just wanted you to know the setup for this book, and it seems pretty intriguing to me so far. So I will probably check in when I'm about halfway. Hello everyone, I'm here for my second update, and unfortunately this weekend it decided to snow. It's supposed to be springtime. Made me so upset. But it does make you want to stay inside and read, so there is that. But anyways, so I'm about halfway through and I am enjoying this one. I think it's pretty good so far. The funny thing is, when I picked this book originally, I was like, I haven't heard anybody talking about this book anywhere. And so I was like, oh, I'll be like the first one. This will be great. But then, literally, after my first update to you guys, I watched two other booktubers talk about this book. And I was like, how ironic is that? That I would pick a book and then immediately other people would start talking about it. So if you've seen those other ones that I've seen and you're like, oh, another Mr. Lullaby, I apologize. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So after I talked to you guys, a few chapters later, we did get another perspective. So we're also following a girl named Maddie, and she was in a coma. And if you remember, Teddy was going about trying to kill these people in a coma. So luckily, she came out of it before he could get to her. And she was actually attacked by a serial rapist, and she survived. And so it's kind of going through her perspective, and she's trying to find the guy that did it to her. And she has like some family issues and stuff, but she's also drawn to this town with the tunnel, and so she's gonna go see what that's all about. So far, it's pretty good. He kind of writes like Ronald Malfi, I would say. That's who I would compare his writing style to and his stories. So if you like Ronald Malfi, I think you'll like this one. This is my first book by this author, so I'm going to keep reading. When I finish the book, I will come back and let you know if the ending stuck the landing or not. Oh, did Daddy go shovel snow without you? Oh, I know. I know. It's so hard when Dad goes outside without you, huh? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. He'll be back in a sec. Hey guys, I'm here for my final update of Mr. Lullaby. I have finished this book, and to be honest, it kind of fell apart for me. So after I updated you, it was going pretty well, but it just became, I don't know, very meandering and sluggish, and there was a lot of characters, and so you jumped around a lot from who was talking, which is fine, but for whatever reason, in this case, it just made it feel more sluggish because I wasn't sure we needed all those perspectives. And I mean, it would be a little bit interesting, and then it would kind of be a slog, and then it'd be a little bit interesting, but it never just like completely enthralled me. It never kept me completely hooked. And the ending, I was just reading along, da, 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 and all of a sudden it said acknowledgements, and I was like, wait, what? Like I thought I was just dropped off a cliff because it didn't feel like it had a proper ending. It just ended. Like it was just action, 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 the end. And like not everything was tied up, which I kind of hate. I don't like ambiguous endings, and so I like to know what happened to everybody. And then one of the main characters makes a decision that is just nonsensical to me. It doesn't make sense for her character or for the context of the story. So I thought that was kind of weird. And yeah, I don't know. I think this book was just okay. Like I would think back on it and I would have a hard time remembering some things because it just wasn't sticking in my brain. And like when I think of the story as a whole, I'm just like, eh. So unfortunately, I think this is more of a miss than a hit. So I don't know. I'd maybe give this 3 stars. So bummer. I haven't read The Nightmare Man yet, and I am still excited to read that one. So that's still on my TBR. Also, you should be aware that there is a bizarre sex scene in this book. So if you're like me and you don't really like sexual content in your books, just be aware of that. It doesn't really have to do with the plot, like it never does really, but there is one aspect of it that you could say is plot related, but yeah, it's really quite bizarre. But anyways, I just wanted you to be aware of that. So that's going to be the end of our vlog. I hope you had an enjoyable time watching it. I had an enjoyable time making it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'd like to make another one in the future. If you think that's a good idea, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments so I can make another video like this for you if it's something you think you'd want to see again. If you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscription button and hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss a video from me. And I'll see you guys next time. See ya!